Democrats don't want to talk about what a problem she could be for them. Back with me is Rachel Lindsay, media personality, attorney, author, former star of The Bachelorette, Rick Sanchez, former MSNBC and CNN anchor and founder of Agua Media, and Diane Canada, former Republican nominee for Tennessee State House in 2020. Rachel, Democrats just don't seem to want to talk about Kamala Harris.
I don't think that that's true. First off, you pulled out a bad moment from her.
And there have been a number of, by the way, I've got some others here.
Also, I'm not going to say you're racist or sexist or anything like that.
Misogynoir is a term I had never.
Did you learn that?
I learned this as a result of my comments about Kamala Harris. I was accused of being misogynoir.
As a black woman, I'm very familiar with that.
What is misogynoir? What is misogynoir?
It's when you are racist and sexist, but the noir is the black.
Is the black.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
So there you go. You write that down.
Misogynistic against a black woman. So I'm very familiar with the term. I feel like we do this every 3 or 4 months with Vice President Kamala Harris. And I just feel like we're trying to find something wrong with her, and it's really not rooted in anything. She's been very vocal about the Voting Rights Act. She's been very vocal and given very good speeches. We just didn't put it up there about abortion rights. She's spoken out against Ron DeSantis about what he's doing in Florida with education. And she's also had a very strong stance on immigration policies. And I don't know why we're trying to pretend like Kamala Harris isn't doing anything.
I'll tell you why. Well, I'm not saying she's not doing anything. I'm saying she's not been doing things particularly well in terms of public perception. But let me play, this is Nikki Haley, what she said to Fox about Kamala Harris, and I think this is everything. Oh, actually here. She said, a vote for President Biden, it's actually a vote for President Harris. We're running against Kamala Harris. Make no bones about it. Now, she's not going to be the nominee, but that's going to be the 2024 message, is it not?
Yeah.
I mean,
you know
from the other side,
yes, from the other side, from Republicans.
You know what I'm going to say here? To analyze Kamala Harris, I think I agree with you. We should not analyze Kamala Harris in the present. We should analyze her in the past and ask ourselves, what is she really doing there? How did she do in the primaries? Let me tell you, she got her butt whipped in the primaries. She was not one of the leading contenders in America for the presidency of the United States. Neither is the guy she works with. So we've gotten to a point in this country where a party anointed two people now has them there. They never really were tested, and they're being tested now, and they're not so good under fire.
Feel free to comment on...
I do not agree with that. Yeah. Let's not ignore all the other things that Kamala Harris is. I mean,
what? Prosecutor of a state where she put 2,000 young African-American men in jail for marijuana?
They always love to throw that one out there. I'm not saying that that was great, but I'm just saying we act like she didn't have a past to get to where she is today. We want to judge her just on what you've seen or the lack of, or you feel the things you haven't seen.
But see, I'm not even making a judgment about it. I'm talking about from a political perspective. This Republican, she is a gift. To 2024 to Republicans, no?
Yeah, well, I want to go kind of a slightly different angle on Kamala. She just does not have that ability to connect. And I think the authenticity factor, I think people's meter is pegging on that. They just don't find her to be an authentic person. She has these laughs in kind of these awkward places. She's a little condescending. It's just her demeanor and her approach has nothing to do with race, any of that, female, any of that.
Do you agree that she looks a little uncomfortable in her own skin in public, like she's acting instead of being?
Not when I'm comparing it to some of the other people.
Well, no, but forget the comparison.
I'm sorry.
Because I agree with you. I think she's a wonderful person, I'm sure, and a smart person and capable and very educated. But she just hasn't cut through yet where you can...
But that stuff
matters. She has that Dan Rather problem.
But that stuff matters for elections. And I think that come 2024, yes, Biden becomes the issue, but they marginalize him in the campaign. They're going to say he's so old. He's so out of it. This is exactly what she said, which is this is about us versus Kamala Harris, is what the Republicans are going to say. And I think that that's a danger. Do you disagree with that?
Well, I do disagree with that, but also can we stop trying to put President Biden to bed? That's the nicest way that I can say that.
He looks like he goes to bed an awful lot.
It's a reality, Rachel. It's a reality. It's a reality.
But I just think that people have a certain perception about Kamala Harris. I'm sorry, I do. And I think that there are some bias there that people aren't willing to admit when they see a black woman in this position. And it has to be said.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.